Hi guys, welcome to this video where we discuss how to enrich our ethics answers. In ethics, the common pain point that I've observed with all my students who are writing answers is, within the subject, if we take the theory part or if we take the case studies part, the answer will always be two parts. One part is the ethical perspectives, the second part is ethical justifications. Ethical perspectives is where most of my students are getting it correct, and most of you students will also get it correct, because ethical perspectives is where you have to take a stand that is morally correct. It adheres to the societal norms, and this is where, since most of the students are matured enough, they are going to take a proper morally correct stand, and hence ethical perspectives is not where the problem lies in this subject. The problem lies in the second part that I am talking about, and that is ethical justification. Now, when it comes to justifying a stand or when it comes to justifying a decision, this is where most of the students have a very narrow outlook. The justification does not show depth, does not show maturity, and does not show diversity. So when you justify your stand or your decisions or your breaking of the dilemma, the justifications that you should bring should come from different sources, should come from different ideas, and it should show your depth in understanding the subject of ethics. And that is where the differential is created, and that is where few students who are getting the justification right are getting very good marks, and most of the students who are creating that narrower justification are getting mediocre marks. That is where most of the students are scoring 100, 105, and few students are scoring 125 to 130 plus. So this justification is where we are creating the differential in the ethics paper. So what we have to do is develop our justifications well. Perspectives is something that most of us will get it right. Justification is where the differential is created. That is where the marks is scored. So I hope you develop the depth in your justification. Today, the video is about Bhagavad Gita, the learnings of Bhagavad Gita, and how you can apply these learnings for ethical justification in different scenarios. I am going to teach you a way how to enhance and increase your depth when it comes to ethical justification, and one such attempt is this video. The Bhagavad Gita is a treasure trove of spiritual and ethical wisdom. It offers invaluable insights that can enhance our understanding and application of ethics. So let us break down the key learnings of Bhagavad Gita and let us see how they can be applied in the various context of our ethics paper and ethics case studies. Okay, applying this timeless wisdom will help us explore the profound teachings of Bhagavad Gita, which can help us tackle issues like ethical dilemmas and also enrich our answers in GS4 ethics paper. So first, let us see the learning. What does it mean and how we can use it in the context of ethics paper. So let us start off with it. The first learning is Dharma, righteous duty. Perform your prescribed duty, for action is better than inaction. A man cannot even maintain his physical body without work. Chapter 3, verse 8. What does it mean? The concept of Dharma is central to the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is an action-based ethics. It promotes and it propagates action or inaction, activity or passivity, and it emphasizes the importance of fulfilling one's duties and responsibilities according to the role in society, family, and personal life. Now, if I take the context of ethics paper, when we are faced in a dilemma of personal interest coming in conflict with public interest, this is where we have to prioritize our duty. Because Bhagavad Gita not only tells that we have to prioritize our duty, it tells that we have to do the duty in the righteousness manner. So you, or any scenario of you being put in a civil services context, public office is the righteous duty. Public responsibility is your utmost priority. In that case, if you apply the learnings of Bhagavad Gita, public interest should always come above private interests. So that is what is the righteous duty as emphasized and prioritized in the learnings of Bhagavad Gita. The second learning is Karma Yoga, path of selfless action. You have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Chapter 2, verse 47. What this tells is engage in selfless service and act without selfish desires. It focuses on action rather than the results. And Karma Yoga advocates performing actions selflessly for the benefit of others. They call it altruism. You can call it deontology. However, what Karma Yoga tells is selfless action is central to one's character. If the learning 1 talks about righteous action, the learning 2 talks about selfless action. So if I take this in the context of GS4, now a civil servant has to design and implement policies and programs. So when they are designing and implementing policies and programs, if they have the path of selfless action, they can think about the benefit of others purely, and the design and implementation will be very robust. That in turn will reflect the transparency and accountability within the policies and programs itself. So civil servants can apply this Karma Yoga within the policy making, within the implementation of the policies. That in turn will reflect the benefit of others to be very robust and to be very effective only through this path of selfless action. The third is Gana Yoga, path of knowledge. Just as a kindled fire reduces wood to ashes, so does the fire of knowledge burn the ashes all reactions to material activities. Chapter 4, verse 37. Gana Yoga is the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. It aims to understand the nature of reality and self by studying, by learning and constant observation. Gana Yoga is very critical for a civil servant, because for a civil servant to be relevant and to design the policies and programs that are relevant for the society must first observe and learn from the society. The society is constantly evolving. So in this evolving society, if a civil servant is not constantly learning, is not pursuing the path of knowledge, then the civil servant stagnates and the policies will also reflect this stagnancy. If the dynamicity should come within the plans and programs of the civil servant or the decisions of the civil servant should be updated with the wisdom of the society and the current learnings of the society, and must be in line with the evolution of the society in today's world. The importance of staying informed and knowledgeable is also an important attribute for making well-rounded decisions. Okay, now it is very important to be updated so that the laws and the policies are in tune with the social evolution as well as with the social norms. The fourth learning is Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, offer obeisance and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Here the me is the divinity that the Bhagavad Gita speaks about. Chapter 9, verse 34. Now, Bhakti Yoga or path of devotion, how we can apply this in the context of ethics paper is, devotion and commitment to duty is enumerated or is explicitly specified in the Code of Conduct Rules of Civil Servants of 1964. What do you mean by devotion to duty? Devotion to duty is one's way of showing empathy and compassion. Only if you are devoted to your public service, only if you have that service mentality, then the empathy and compassion comes out, which are essential for understanding and addressing the needs of especially the marginalized and the vulnerable sections of the society. So if we have to activate that empathy, if we have to activate that compassion, if we feel that we have to go one step ahead to help people out, only then that comes out with the devotion to public service and the devotion to duty. This is where the Bhakti Yoga or the path of devotion can be applied into the context of ethics. The next is equanimity. The fifth learning is equanimity, that is samatva. A person is said to have attained yoga or union. Yoga means union. Okay, the synonym of yoga means union. Alright, a person is said to have attained yoga or union with the self when he has renounced all desires for sense gratification and when he neither laments nor desires anything. Chapter 6, verse 4. Okay, here the Bhagavad Gita teaches the importance of maintaining mental and emotional balance both in the times of success and failure, in the times of pleasure and pain. This equanimity as a value, samatva as a learning, can be applied in case studies, because case studies will always show you a point or a position where a person is successful, and then a position where a person is suffering from failure, or a point where the person is suffering from pain, or the person is having pleasure. So in either of the cases, this is a value that can be applied. Now, how can this be used in your answers is basically when you have to make decisions. The second is how to manage your conflicts. Samatva is a very important attribute, especially in terms of conflict management. Okay, so ensuring justice with fairness, able to keep our calmness, making sure that we are impartial, making sure that we are non-partisanship, everything comes from this attribute of equanimity or samatva. This is about the fifth learning of Bhagavad Gita. The sixth and the final learning that the Bhagavad Gita helps us in this ethics context is detachment or vairagya. Okay, E, who is free from all desires and is content with the self alone through self-control, is said to be firmly situated in transcendental knowledge. Chapter 2, verse 55. Here, detachment involves letting go of all material attachments and desires and focusing instead on self-realization. This self-realization will liberate us from all the pressures of these material gains and temptations. How we can put it in the ethics paper or GS4 context is, it involves decision-making powers where civil servants have personal biases. These personal biases can be let gone if we practice this attribute of vairagya or detachment. So when the personal biases are removed in your decision-making abilities, objectivity comes in, merit-based decision-making comes in, factual-based decision-making comes in, and your decision-making will be effective. And this is how we can apply this attribute in the context of ethics paper. Now, whatever decisions we make, when we eliminate the personal biases, then those decisions will always create a greater good in the minds of the public. And this is the essence of public service. So, these were the 6 important learnings of Bhagavad Gita that you can apply in the context of ethics, both in theory as well as case studies. The last 2 attributes points towards what we study in the syllabus as emotional intelligence. So you can use it there. The samatva and the vairagya concepts are part of the emotional intelligence that we study in today's times. So overall, this is how I hope you have understood to create justifications for whatever ethical perspectives or ethical standpoints that you take in your answers as well as your case studies. Where we lag behind is the justifications. That is where you have to bring the learnings of Bhagavad Gita, you have to bring the learnings of Buddhism, Jainism, or any other school of thought that can help justify the reasons why you are taking that stand. That shows not only your maturity but your depth in the subject of ethics. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Try to practice by bringing in different learnings of different school of philosophy that actually makes your answers depth-wise as well as diversity-wise great. This is how the differential is created in your ethics marks. So I hope this was helpful. I'll come up with such innovative ways to increase and enrich your answers in the GS papers. Until then, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support. My only request is please like, share and subscribe this video and share it with as many people as possible, because it motivates me to keep doing such quality content for you people on a regular basis. Until next time, guys, thank you so much. Bye.